Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I have got a fabulous find I'm going to show you guys today. It's going to be a real trip down memory lane for you old school guys. This deck is just awesome. I got super lucky on a Facebook find. It's very rare that you can get your hands on one of these things for a reasonable price because as soon as they pop up, everybody goes crazy, ends up being a bidding war, usually freaks out the seller because a lot of times they don't know what they have and they've priced it a little bit lower or whatever. And so things just get messy really quick. Anywho, I connected with the seller. We had a good communication. Things seemed to be really rad. We connected on a few other levels, and we made the deal happen. And so super stoked to get my hands on this. And the thing is, right away, when I'd seen this ad, it just looks like a beat up, Powell skateboard. And we've seen the graphic. We've got the Powell-Peralta Brigade Series 12 back here. And that graphic's actually the very first graphic that Lance did with the Future Primitive. And I'm going to show you here one of the differences between that graphic, and this is kind of a version 2, because there was something on that graphic that Lance didn't really like. And so I'm going to put up a picture here or here anyways. I'll put up a picture. And so if you want to look around this area here, where the surfer, his foot comes down around the dog's crotch, you can see here on the Series 12, on the original graphic, it is awkward, to say the least, right? And so anyways, Lance didn't really dig that once it was like, oh, hey, that kind of looks like a dog's dink, and so that's actually what they call it, the dog dink graphic. Anywho, for this version, they got rid of it. So this is kind of like V2 for the Future Primitive graphic. But that was one of the things. So there's a few things that gave this thing away. The fact that these rails only have 4 holes. The new rails have 5 holes to hold them on a little bit better. The trucks were the old school truck hole pattern on the base plates. I wasn't 100% sure what the trucks were looking at the images because they were dark and the trucks are obviously black. And then obviously in the laminates here too, I could see some black in the laminate layers. And I don't know if you can see that well there, but yeah, in the laminate layers. I couldn't see the wheels too well, and there's been so many reissues of wheels and different things, it was kind of hard to determine based off that. But anywho, when I got it home, pleasantly surprised. Everything was verified. There were some differences though that I'll talk about. When I got the deck back, not good or bad, but just different than what I expected. So one of them being, when I put this thing in my hands, it just feels great because it's OG. It's heavy as a pig, but that confirms the Bonite that's in here. And so that black laminate layer is just the Bonite boards that took place in around 87, 88. Powell tried some new technology. It was a major fail. You guys can go and do some homework on that. But if the boards got wet, they just essentially crumbled apart. And so it is more difficult to find the Bonite decks just because of that. And so we know right away this board is from around 1987, 88. But it felt smaller than, hanging on to the reissue here, right? And so this board is a mini. The other thing is, if you guys can see here, there's like a hole right in the middle of the deck here. Well, not in the middle, but in the middle width-wise of the deck. And so back in the day, if there was like a blem board that came out, a twist, a warp, they would send it to the stores to use as a clock. And they called these boards the time warp board. So, I mean, they're made the exact same. It's just if there was a defect, they drill a hole in it, send it to the boards to use as clocks. And so this is what I believe this is, because that hole is too perfect. It's right in the top there. I reached out to a couple guys. The one gentleman, he wasn't 100% convinced because he thought the hole might be in the middle more. And also there's like next to no warp on this board. And so unless, because it's been ridden or humidity or something and the board's managed to straighten out, he's just like, dude, all the time warps that I've seen, like they're warped to crap. And so he has a McGill Noss one, and he said that his is still warped pretty good, but he said he's been told that his isn't warped that bad compared to other ones that are out there. And so he's just like, dude, your board is so straight. If that's a time warp, that's amazing. And so, anyway, I'm going to go with time warp because I just can't rationalize why someone else would put a hole in the middle of the board. All right, so let's just get into some of these cool factors here on this board. And again, this terminology, if you guys remember looking through the magazines when you were a kid, there's going to be things that just trigger you and trigger your memories like they do for me. And so, again, with the rails, I'm not 100% sure what they are. I'm assuming they're Powell, but the fact that they're 4-hole is really cool. The risers here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see them, but I don't know if the light's hitting them properly, but these are the Cell Block 2 risers, which is so killer. And so the 1/2 inch, right? And because that's what we skated back then, the 1/2 inches. So Cell Block 2 risers. The trucks that are on here, I reached out to a couple people to help me verify. And so they're the Stage 5 independent trucks. Stage 5 came out at around 1986. And then in 1988, they did the black anodized ones, and so that's what these are. Somebody confirmed and just was like, yeah, dude, those are the black anos from, the late 80s, so around 88. And so then I went online and found it and confirmed that, yeah, that's about what they are. So super stoked on those. And so the funny thing is, I believe the front is a 169 and the bottom is a 159 because the front is definitely a little bit bigger, and I've measured them up. And it looks fine on the board because the tail comes in. I've never done that. I've never gone with a smaller truck on the back, but I'm pretty sure that that's what's happened here, is that it's a 169 on the front and a 159 on the back. What else are we looking at here? These wheels will take you back, guys. The OJ2 Team Riders, and these are 61 millimeters, 92As. Look at those graphics. You buy a set of any wheels today, you skate them for a week and the graphics are peeled off them. This thing is like over 30 years old and the graphics are still mint on it. That just speaks volumes to me about quality. And I know it's probably, the paint was probably more toxic and stuff back then. But I don't know. I just think it's so rad that this deck has obviously been skated quite a bit looking at the tail. And the graphics on these wheels are still killer. And you can see that the front wheels are a little bit coned as well, right? And so, yeah, that just speaks volumes to me. So, again, we've got, the old school rails with the 4 holes. We've got the 1/2 inch Cell Block 2 risers, the OJ2 Team Rider wheels, the Indy Stage 5 trucks, and then to top it off, we've got some steely German bearings in there. Again, you probably won't be able to see that. They weren't turning so well when I got them, but I pulled them out, cleaned them up, and now they're spinning pretty darn good. Anywho, guys, I'm just going to give you one more sweet look with that board. Trip down memory lane. The rat nuts on top, which is so rad. I'm struggling to just to even hold this thing up because it's so friggin' heavy. Anywho, guys, stoked on this find. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe, like, share, do all that good stuff. Be sure to comment. I love speaking with you guys. Peace out, and I'm still waiting for that Guerrero. We're seeing them down in the States. I know some guys from Canada ordered them up as well. So the Nicky G, it's like a light blue kind of teal stain, which it looks so sick. So I'm stoked to get my hands on that one. And then I've got another special deck coming in that I'm blown away with the fact that I got this one as well. So I'll show you guys that, but it's going to be at least a week out from now. I'm waiting to get it. And it's going to be probably a week and a half before I actually have it in hand. Anywho, guys, peace out. Check you later. Thanks again. Cheers.